Thank God it's a Friday. It's the 13th of the month of May. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's nice we all made it through to the start of the weekend. So let's look back a little bit at the trading day. On Thursday, the Nigerian stock market continued its strong rally. The NGX All-Share Index climbed yesterday despite the sell-off in the banking space. Consumer goods and industrial goods remained very strong, so we did 15 basis points, a little bit much lower than 1.9% we did on Wednesday. But there's still a whole lot of good news there for the market space. Earnings still in the news, Airtel Africa, MTN, a whole lot of other big names in the consumer goods space, agro-allied, brewers, oil, HCP names such as Unilever. Then you've got the BRVM also up by 40 basis points on Thursday. And the EGX, however, fell 1.63, which is the last trading day of the week for the Egyptian market. In Cairo, the Nairobi bourse fell by 1.09%. The most active traded stock in turnover volume was Safaricom, accounting for about 70% of total trading day in Nairobi, while the South African market fell by 1.75%. Okay. Let's get into the news, by the way, with East Africa. Bitcoin's down 40% year to date. Cryptocurrencies exchanges are crumbling. And that's the latest. About $200 billion was wiped off just in 24 hours yesterday from the Bitcoin market. And everybody's saying, we told you so. But there's still a whole lot of crypto enthusiasts out there hoping that this is not the last yet of crypto world. Kenya's Capital Market Authority is setting new, very tight rules for small companies who wants to issue bonds. You don't want investors' money being mismanaged or misapplied. So the rules are going to come really, really tight. Safaricom full year profits down roughly 1.7%. to about 67 billion shillings. Gross dividend is coming through at about 30 billion shillings. But the big telco in Kenya and in East Africa, one of the biggest on the African continent, rolled out his full year earnings as well as business outlook, including his entry into Ethiopia. That robust presentation is available on the line. You can watch that. Sasini is in Kenya. It says his net profits up about, tripled to about 42 million shillings in first half of its own financial year, ended March on the back of higher sales. And Tanzania says it's resuming sugar imports from Uganda, trying to resolve that diplomatic and trade face-off with its neighbor. And African Airlines, not good news, are bracing for a likely $4.7 billion loss for 2022. That's according to the umbrella body of all airlines in Africa. It's called the AFRAA. Okay, so let's look into the West African market and economies where stories are coming through. But Tifa Capital yesterday held its 2022 macroeconomic conference. There were big names across the region speaking to the state of the economy, inflation, markets, the whole Russia-Ukraine crisis. But the fallout is that the subdued growth is expected for Nigeria on the back of the uncertainties in the oil and gas industry. There's a whole lot more robust conversation yesterday. Also yesterday, the Africa Finance Corporation, headquartered in Lagos, is still basking in the euphoria of its 15th anniversary. So yesterday launched a new $2 billion fund for Africa to recover, to support Africa's recovery efforts from COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the ongoing Russian conflict in the Ukraine. Ghana's inflation is coming in at about 23.6%, red hot, the strongest in almost 20 years. And the Association of Bureau de Change Operators in Nigeria says they have a roadmap of their own on how to save Nigeria's naira trading on the street. Close to 600 yesterday. Yesterday, the naira finished 420 to the dollar at the investors and exporters window. So this Bureau de Change Operator says they want the central bank to reconsider the sale of FX to them, which is suspended now for a number of months since last year. They want to be part of the ecosystem of the financial technology or fintech. They want to be part of the mobile payment system where Airtel and MTN just got their licenses from the financial regulator. They said they have a roadmap. There are more details of that. You can read that up. Then Ghana Electricity Board wants 148% increase in tariffs for consumers. That's really, really shocking. But that's no pun intended. But that's really shocking. If you consider how much Ghanaians will have to pay for electricity per kilowatt, then of course you talk about inflation at about 27% or 24%, pardon, and the currency fighting very hard to survive against the dollar. The shareholders and the stockholders are talking gas monetization, energy poverty, and that was at the conference in Equatorial Guinea on oil and gas. Okay, let's go to Southern Africa. And the problem with the flooding is the South Africa's economy, according to a report and an index published yesterday, showed that the economy grew in the month of April. In the meantime, Moody's Investor Services says higher socio-political risks are expected in sub-Saharan Africa over the next 18 months. That was part of the conference yesterday, held by Vetiva Capital, our partner here in Nigeria. It's an investment banking group licensed by the SEC. And AB-Inbev, one of the brewers in South Africa, I've told the drinkers, well, hold your mug. We're not raising prices, at least not yet, despite inflation that is creeping into Africa's most advanced economy. And Namibia is floating a sovereign wealth fund with an initial fund of 262 million Namibian dollar. That sounds very like what Mozambique is also working on right now, setting up a sovereign wealth fund before the inflows of nat gas revenue, estimated about $96 billion. Anglo-American is planning to set up a joint venture with Arc Minerals and perhaps a few others to prospect for cobalt and copper mining in Zambia. And finally, Angola and the World Bank have sealed the last part of $1.7 billion package. What is in the package? Well, they'll let us know as soon as more details are revealed. Angola is Africa's second largest oil producer, by the way. So let's sum it up in North Africa this Friday and say TGI. The EBRD says it's about 3% growth outlook that it has for Morocco's economy by the year 2023. And Egypt's consortium and Total Energies are launching a green ammonia project. Egypt is looking at green energy very furiously because the country is going to host the COP27 conference later this year around October. And you want to be the right host for the right conversation. In Lafarge Africa, one of the largest cement makers on the continent, Lafarge, the unit in Egypt, and Lubica signed a new deal, $93 million for a solar power plant to be in place by the year 2024. And the World Bank and the IMF have told South Sudan to reform its institutions, MDAs, and all of government agencies in order to be able to access more deal or more loans from the Bretton Woods institutions. And finally, Tunisia's foreign investment went up 73%, 596 million dinars in the first quarter, January to March, the first 3 months of this year. You've been briefed. That's your trading day. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. I'll see you next time. I am Bosin Omofaye. Thanks for watching.